Aloha everyone, and welcome to another Tinkers Academy video. I'm your host Kay Elmer, and this video is the first installment in a new series I'm starting called Leela Community News. There's so many wonderful changes and announcements and information and products coming out of Leela Quantum Tech and on Quantum Upgrade that I'm having a hard time keeping track of it. And if you're on Telegram, the thing scrolls up so fast. It's really hard to kind of just keep on top of what the changes are. So I just thought I'd start like a video newsletter and just try to, put it together. And then I'll just be putting these out as warranted, And so just to let you know, it's literally only been less than 6 weeks since the last product update that I did with Philip. And so here are all the changes in the last 6 weeks. And today is March 13th. So here's your news for today. What's new in the news? Okay, so right off the bat, everyone's been asking hey, what's going on with the quantum energy practitioner course and the quantum eye drops? So I did check with, Jamie, their LeelaQ's marketing person or manager person. And basically they're still trying to set up the ability to sell the eye drops in the U.S. market. There's because it's a kind of a medicine type of product. They have to go through hoops. So that's still in the works, and they're working diligently on trying to get those eye drops launched so that they can start selling them on the U.S. site. And then as far as the Quantum Energy Practitioner Certification course, that's just been a little delayed. It was supposed to launch in February. There's some last minute edits that they're working really hard on it. And, it's basically going to be launched ASAP. So hopefully, by the end of the month, but it's definitely, these two things are in the works. They're working hard on them, and they should be launching as soon as possible, and they're on the way. Okay, so they're still out there. Also too, in the last couple of weeks or last few weeks, there's been some new frequencies, and I just kind of want to say aloha and welcome to Lynn Teachworth. He's the latest addition to the Leela Healer Network. He's one of the guest healers. I had a great chat with him, and he's actually the person who developed this new frequency that's now available on Quantum Upgrade called the skeletal and fascial optimization frequency. Now, this frequency was developed by Lynn to work with the body's energy field and to promote harmony in the connective tissues, skull bones, and spine. Because it optimizes the flow of energy through the spine and stabilizes the nervous system, it works particularly well in conjunction with stretching exercises, mindful movement, and fluid intake to reconnect the body with its natural blueprint and thus ensure lasting physical harmony. So it's a really great frequency to use, for stretching, yoga, post-workout, that sort of thing. So it's a great frequency. I've been trying it for 3 weeks, and I do actually feel a little bit different, So I think it's a great thing. Now, Lynn has just got a great background. He's a healer. He is really, we really hit it off because we're both really into biomagnetics. In terms of just using healing modalities from the bioelectrical magnetic standpoint, and his thing. If you take a look at his bio, he's really into this modality called body talk, and he's just a really, really great guy, very well accomplished in what he does. So, welcome aboard the Healer Network, Lynn. Love your new frequency, and everybody out there on Leela Quantum Tech. Quantum Upgrade. Give it a try. It's been available for a few weeks now. Another new frequency is called the World Champion frequency, and the story on this one is awesome. Philip basically was working with one of you guys, our customers, the customers, and Misha Tate is a UFC fighter, and he was chatting with Misha, and so Philip was basically saying, hey, he realized when talking with her because she had basically, was coming back from an injury that she had, and so she had to take a break, and then she's back into doing the UFC fights now. She's ranked number 8 in the world right now, and so now Misha Tate was the inspiration. Philip kind of talked with her, and this is where you guys really come into play. A lot of the stuff that you see that's available is because we, the customers, asked them about it, and kind of just said, hey, we need, and so Philip put together a combination where he took the brain support frequency and the Olympic frequency, and he kind of harmonized them together, which then they kind of started, the way that they created this new frequency called World Champion, now available on Quantum Upgrade, was the Healer Network combined these two frequencies and harmonized them so that they now have, there's 2 additional layers built in to activate the performance spirit on the fly with healing power. And that's kind of what the conversation came out of it when he talked with Misha. And this is Philip, our fearless leader in LeelaQ. What basically realizing that for someone who's doing that particular sport, and I think this really does apply to a lot of sports where Olympic is awesome for physical exertion. Like if you're someone who's, a runner, any type of physical sport or any type of physical exertion, the Olympic frequency is that's what it's designed for. But if you have a physical exertion activity that's combined with the need to be incredibly sharp cognitively, meaning you need all your wits about you, and that's really, can you imagine in a UFC fighting world, and it, applies to tennis and anything that you really need to be as sharp as attack and your brain on 100%, plus you need to be exerting your physical body, then that's what this is for. So if you are an athlete and you're a competitive athlete, give World Champion a try. This is an amazing frequency developed specifically for Misha and shared with the world, the community. So definitely, another really great new frequency that's available on Quantum Upgrade. Now, there's also been improved frequencies, and it's another thing that Leela Healer Network does, is they're constantly looking at the existing frequencies and trying to find ways to make them even better. And so in the last 6 weeks, there's been several different changes to the existing frequencies that have been upgraded to actually make them super powered, like really just making them even more effective, even better, and even more effective for the people that use them. So the 6 frequencies that have been upgraded and improved, and are calm for animals, heal for dogs, heal for cats, happiness, self-love and partnership, and inflammatory support. So if you've ever tried these in the past and you gave it a try and you're like, maybe it did, maybe it didn't, give it another try. These things have now been upgraded to actually work even better for you. But I do want to comment that one of the things that Philip was talking about when it comes to the animal frequencies is, please note in general that small animals do not need such high Hawkins levels, so that 600 to 700 should be ideal for most during the day and 500 at nights, and a booster is fine. But, Philip says I wouldn't recommend going too high. So if you have a small animal, just remember they're tiny and they're not going to need as much as your bigger animals or yourself. Okay, now, one other thing about the inflammatory support frequency, it was improved, but then there's also been some name changes. So I do want to point out that if you look on Quantum Upgrade, you'll note that the inflammatory support frequency has been renamed, and now it's called the exertion response and microbial harmony. Now that frequency has been improved and name change, and the improvement centers around the microbial harmony aspect of it. And so, if you're dealing with some kind of not only in inflammation, now it's improved so that if you've got, like let's say a pathogen infestation in your body, this is going to help that. Okay, so that's kind of as far as I can go in terms of disclaimers. Now, in terms of the DNA and support, DNA and cell support frequency, which was made and designed years ago for, the panini. Now it's called the DNA and cell rebalance, frequency. So those are just, they're the DNA and cell support. I now call DNA and cell rebalance. Same frequency, just different name. But the inflammatory support frequency's been upgraded and name changed. Okay, so that's that. Another thing that I just want to announce on the LeelaQ side. Now, everybody, that, when the new frequencies and changes to new existing frequencies kick off on Quantum Upgrade, that's really easy because they basically, well, not easy, but, they basically program it into their system. And then they flip the switch and then, it's available, right? So it's it's one of the greatest perks about Quantum Upgrade is you keep getting more and more and more different frequencies, and the existing frequencies keep getting better and better, and it doesn't cost you another dime. It's all included, right? So you don't ever pay more for all these really cool features. But on the card side now, on the physical side, that takes longer. I chatted with those guys, and they were basically saying, it takes about a month or two when there's a new frequency on upgrade to produce the card for it, because they have to create the mandala, they got to produce the product, they got to charge the product and put it into their distribution system. So it does take a little while. And so if you want to know, hey, has a frequency, a new one that's on Quantum Upgrade, has it now been released as a card so I can buy it and use it with my block or carry it around? Then basically I chatted with Jamie again, and she said, well, just take a look at the description for that particular frequency, and it'll tell you whether or not it's the newer version, right? And obviously, if it's a brand new one, you'll see the name listed on the list. And so right now there are 2 new cards, and so now as of now, the brain support frequency and the skeletal and fascial optimization frequency are now available as cards. The rest of them, the changes and the new ones, like the world champion one, those are coming. Those will be available on cards in the next month or so. Okay, so these are the new cards. Brain support and skeletal fascial are now available as a card. You can buy those. Now, other news in Leela Quantum Tech world, there's, they announced this several, about a couple of months ago, but I do want to kind of put it in this newsletter, that there are research opportunities available. This is something that Leela Quantum Tech announced, and they basically are just soliciting for volunteers because, as you know, they're always doing studies. They do formal ones and informal ones, but they're always doing studies, and they're also doing beta testing. And so if you're interested as a volunteer for some of this research opportunities, then basically there's 2 ways to sign up, and I'll put a link in the video description below, but there's an actual general interest form that you'll fill out, and so I'll put the link in there. You click on the link and you go to the form, and basically just sign up, and then they'll basically contact you as they need. So need people to try new things and that sort of thing. So the important notes about participating as a volunteer, if that's something you're interested in, is that, these potential research opportunities, timelines, criteria, and study details are still being finalized. And so if you're selected, they'll reach out to you via email and that you provide in your application. So, they just want to say, hey, thanks a lot. Your support advances their research, and they truly appreciate your interest. And as I'm someone that's been participating as a volunteer, guinea pig, for 4 years. I've tried so many new things, and it's really great. It's great to be able to be part of that process, for our community, to kind of just help kind of refine and provide input to Leela in terms of all the new stuff that they're launching. So yeah, it's a great thing. If you got time and you're interested, it's free. So, you can go ahead and it's also really cool to get, to get some of access to some of these new frequencies and things before everybody else does. That's just like flex. But, it's cool. And so, yeah, definitely if that's something that you're interested in, go for it. Participate as a volunteer. Another way here's another way to register yourself to be a potential volunteer, okay? But on top of that, you can actually get notified when the new studies are released. So if you're really into the studies, like I am totally into the studies, then if you go to the International Association of Quantum Technology and Frequency Medicine, that's a nonprofit site that houses studies, on quantum energy and quantum upgrade and all that kind of stuff. So if you go to their site, you can actually register right there and says you want to participate in research. And so if you go to that site, and I'll put the link in the video description, but here's the link right here, and you go to that, the studies site, and you can actually just sign up straight through that website at the IFTQF. That's the second way of registering to be a volunteer. Okay, and this one, if you did it this way, you'll also be notified when the new studies are out. Okay. Now, lastly, I do kind of want to just mention something. Now, our the Chief Science Officer for Leela Quantum Tech and Quantum Upgrade is Ian Mitchell, and he's the owner-operator of Wizard Sciences. Now, he's a big quantum guy, and so what he's done in the last few weeks is he's actually launched a new product line of quantum charge supplements that I definitely wanted to mention because first of all, Ian Mitchell is a wizard. I mean, he's an amazing scientist. He's the chief science officer for Leela, really well versed in just biochemistry. He's actually a professor at the University of Tulsa in biochemistry. He's also basically a polymath in multiple different areas of interest and areas of education. So a brilliant man. And so what he's done is he's actually created, along his other products that he sells at Wizard Sciences, he's created bioavailable supplements. Now, if you understand supplements, if you just go to the grocery store or the drugstore and you buy it off the shelf, it's a lot of supplements are synthetic and they don't really necessarily are bioavailable as they could be. But what he's done is he's put his expertise to creating a line of supplements that he's calling Quanta, where he's actually created not just charging supplements, but he's actually formulated the supplements to be the most bioavailable that they can be, and then he's charged them with quantum energy. So if that's of interest to you, definitely want to, I definitely wanted to mention him. This is a new thing, and I wanted to put it in the newsletter. But if you go over to Wizard Sciences, link in the video description below, there's now 5 new supplements that Ian Mitchell has developed at Wizard Sciences. And so he's got the Quanta Magnesium, the Quanta Complex B, Quantum Vitamin C, Quantum D3 with K2, and Quantum Zinc. So those are now available over at Wizard Sciences. They're quantum charged. It's kind of like he's using the Leela Quantum technology with that product line, and it's definitely something that's super good for you if you give it a try. So there you go on that one. So that wraps up this newsletter. I hope that was interesting and informative for you. If you want to keep on top of the information and all this stuff, like and subscribe. Appreciate that. Supports the channel. Also, it keeps you informed. Now, if you have any questions about quantum tech or upgrade, of course we've got the Telegram Telegram chat groups. Link everything in the links will be in the video description below to the chat groups. And if you want to learn anything more about myself, I have a Tinkers Academy blog. Again, link in the bottom. I also have my own separate Telegram chat group called Health and Healing, and another one called C60 Biohackers, if that's your thing as well. So lots of ways to contact us, lots of ways to ask questions, lots of ways to learn and keep up on what's going on with the quantum world. So anyway, thanks a lot for your time today. Hope this was helpful, and have a great day. Aloha.